The magazine The New Yorker is upset that police officers are wearing body cams because sweet little college girls are upset that people can see them get DWIs. Well, yes, that is a real statement. From The New Yorker, body cam hustle targeting young women. And who's to blame for this? Oh, not the media. No, not lawyers. It's YouTubers and their ability to FOIA videos available to the public and then put them on the internet? Is this real? This is real? Now we'll break down the article and talk about some of the valid points, there's not many, that they bring up on how body cam footage is, well, everywhere now, and I'll juxtapose that with some of the reasons why it's important to have body camera footage available to the public. I'll even throw in some spicy bits on my original thoughts about body cams when they first came out. But first, a word from this video's sponsor. It may be a brand new year with a fresh start, but there's still the same old threat: debt. And it's a sneaky threat, silently multiplying, compounding interest, stacking up the fees, and before long it's choking the life out of your finances. But it doesn't have to be that way with PDS Debt. PDS Debt has already helped hundreds of thousands escape debt, reduce what they owe, and take back control. Whether you're struggling with credit cards, personal loans, or medical debt, PDS Debt has custom options to help you out. And they go beyond the numbers to understand your unique financial situation and craft a personal plan designed just for you. There's no minimum credit score required. They're just there to help you save more, pay off your debt faster, and start putting money back where it belongs, in your pocket. I wish I knew about PDS Debt when I was younger, trying to pay off credit card bills and a mortgage. But don't wait for debt to strike again. Break free in 30 seconds. Get your free personalized assessment and best option for you at pdsdebt.com/angry. That's pdsdebt.com/angry, pdsdebt.com/angry. All right, let's get into the article. Now, the first portion of this article from The New Yorker is all about this young lady whose name is April. She got a DWI a couple years ago, and she was a little sauced. It was a low spot in her life. She gets pulled over, the officer's wearing a body cam, and it captures the entire event. Her doing field sobriety tests, getting a little sloppy, slurring her speech, being emotional, and then her taken to booking where she's arrested. But it's after that moment, when the video is uploaded, that her life really starts taking a turn for the worse. In the public eye, that is. You see, April was sentenced to a year's probation. She got herself cleaned up, went to AA meetings, and she graduated college and is now a teacher, and that's totally fine. People make mistakes. It's nice to see people overcoming them. But April and the author of this article are concerned that just because April messed up one time in her life, she shouldn't have to have that moment follow her around on the internet forever. And April's not the only one. There's a girl from Washington that got a DWI because she fell asleep in a Taco Bell drive-thru. Damn, so close to greatness. Liv Moss, am I right? And her video has over 3 million views. The article gives a couple more examples of some young ladies that have had some DWIs, and they got posted all over the internet for a couple million views here and there. But they come to this conclusion that I find difficult to swallow. These videos that get viewed millions and millions of times are mostly women, mostly between the ages of 18 and 25, and mostly powerless to stop their online humiliations. I hope that the New Yorker couldn't possibly be so naive as to say that female DWIs, because they're cute and young, are the majority of police videos out there. Because that would be wrong, especially if they were to say that female videos make up the majority of body cam videos, because just based on the numbers, men are arrested more. We flee from police more, usually have weapons and dope on us more, and commit more murders than women. So if we're talking about true crime channels to be included in this DWI channel thing, not just DWIs on their own, this is a small drop in a big bucket. Now, the article goes on to talk about how the widespread use of body cams really kind of originated around 2014, after the Michael Brown incident with the hands up, don't. And I quote, "The technology took off around 2014, the same year that an unarmed Michael Brown was killed by police in Ferguson, Missouri. In the aftermath of Brown's death, working to repair community trust in police, Obama directed the Justice Department provide grants for municipalities to acquire cameras." Quick breakdown of the Brown incident, if you haven't read the grand jury testimony and all the interviews. I have, because I feel like the statement, "an unarmed Michael Brown," is a little leading, cutting out the time before his interaction with police when he was at the corner store grabbing a bunch of shit and stealing it and shoving over people.
The next morning, Brown is back at the store in what police have always described as a strong-arm robbery. His one hand grabbing the cigars, his other on the storekeeper's neck.
While police are on patrol, an officer stops Michael Brown. Michael Brown goes up to the vehicle. The police starts talking to him. Michael Brown reaches in through the window and just starts beating the shit out of the cop, to which the cop fires off a couple rounds while trapped inside the vehicle, getting blasted by Michael Brown. Michael Brown retreats after hearing the gunfire and potentially being shot. After the officer gave verbal commands to stop and get on the ground and firing his weapon already, Michael Brown charges him. He's shot again by the officer. Leaned in the car, started beating the shit out of the officer, gets shot. Charges the officer when he gets out of the vehicle, gets shot again. And one of the last bullets to strike Michael enters the top of his head as he falls forward. AC, why'd you bring up that whole breakdown? Because it kind of paints the overall picture that this author is trying to paint for you. 80% of large departments are equipped with cameras, and polls indicate broad support from the public. Oh no, the public likes it. What? And why do the public like it? Well, because it catches police misconduct. And that's fantastic. I don't like dirty cops. And in several incidents where body cam was used to prosecute not only corrections officers, but also police officers who killed people in use of force incidents that were unauthorized and unnecessary. Many of these advocates for body cameras are, well, supportive of body cameras because they capture misconduct of police officers, which was the original goal after Michael Brown was shot. So many incidents where people were thinking that the cops are lying or that couldn't possibly have happened. Now those people would be justified in seeing these police officers act out of line. Now, of course, police officers aren't perfect. There are bad ones that misuse the power and authority that they have. And because of body cameras, sure, they've been caught, arrested, and prosecuted appropriately. Even a field study done in California showed that use of force incidents were cut in half in some areas with the introduction of body-worn cameras. But what this article doesn't state, wonder why, because of body-worn cameras being, well, activated and on officers during these use of force incidents or shootings, the number of investigations showing officers guilty of some sort of infraction, whether it be use of force or an abuse of power or a manual of procedures rule breaking, have plummeted. Oh my! Of course, why would we talk about all the incidents where the first day or two, everybody was super upset at the police for just randomly killing a person of color for no reason. And then, whoops, what do you know? They were coming at him with a knife trying to stab him in the hallway.
That's one hell of a sprint.
Hey, it's the police department.
Hey,
it's
what?
LAPD.
Why?
So the officer pulls his firearm and fires 2 shots.
Please back up. Oh, yeah. Back up. Oh, back up. Back up.
Which was not enough to take her down. The officer, who is trapped now, keeps fighting for his life, though.
Back up.
But let's read on, right? For the first few years of camera use, footage requests came generally from defendants, attorneys, and journalists. Lawyers wanted evidence, reporters wanted to see what happened. But soon, a different genre of requests began to trickle in. YouTubers and TikTokers. Oh, this just reeks of envy. You're not a real journalist, you're just on YouTube. Whoa, okay, buddy. Ooh.
Hooey.
Coming for your job? Huh? A little freaked out that us little YouTubers are coming for your job, bud? I can't believe that the rest of the public, not journalists, would demand public information or video that they can rightfully request. That's our job to shit on people and make them look stupid, not the rest of the internet. We do it because we are reporting our slanted, horrible views on why those people are disgusting via these body cams. You can't do that with neutrality. Want to know why I feel that way? Well, because of the next couple lines. They wanted lively, contentious arrests, DUIs, underage drinking, crimes committed on nights out. They wanted college towns, girls dressed for clubbing, thumbnails sure to win a click. Oh my God. It's almost as if the YouTubers are doing the exact same thing you are. How many years have journalists wrote sensational articles, over-sensationalized headlines, and gone far out of their way in order to take some sort of sexy thing or some criminal aspect or fill in the blank and deform whatever actual news there was inside of it into some sexy headline-catching fuckery? Has this guy never heard of the saying sex sells? You think that came from YouTube? We learned it from you.
I learned it by watching you.
Substitute instead of thumbnails sure to get a click, headline sure to get a view. Pot calling the kettle black there? Guy? What's his name? What's this retard's name? Oh, I didn't see. It's on the first page, isn't it? It is on the first page, and I didn't print that one out because it was just a photo of some bullshit. Now, there are hundreds of channels that are dedicated to body cam footage. One of them happens to be a friend of mine, and well, albeit he does a great job of doing it, and he doesn't need to have girls with tits up to here. No, he's got that weird freak from like La Crosse, Wisconsin that screams like a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Okay, go on. I'm not gonna give you a hug. Okay, I listened to you. Now we're gonna walk over there. Let's go.
But here's an interesting line that, well, I'll get into after I add some additional context. Why should that follow them the rest of their lives? That is a good line. I'll give you my thoughts on that, but first let's read some of the interesting things that other states are doing. And this is what kills me. If there's gonna be a fix, it will have to be a legislative one. Now, there are already restrictions on body cam footage, right? If it's during a homicide investigation, well, good luck getting any sort of body cam or interview video from the district, department, or bureau. Why? Well, because there's witness testimony in there, and some of these witnesses, well, you might have to protect them. And another thing is juveniles. Because juveniles aren't, well, adults, fully formed adults yet, they have certain protections. In fact, I think they're the only protected class inside the United States when it comes to the law. Now, I'm sure you're gonna bring up like hate crimes on somebody, and like its own rabbit hole you can go down. But juveniles are, and I believe they should be, protected above everybody else. So there are already limitations on what you can and cannot get from body cam footage FOIA requests or Freedom of Information law. FOIA, FOIL, juvenile information or juvenile anything related, usually, generally. Some sexual assaults, especially if it happens to show the action of a sexual assault. Homicides and other serious crimes, depending on what's going on, and medical information. Inside of a hospital where there's hospital gowns and people walking around and things happening to people. You know, that's a baby being born. I know this looked like me fisting a horse, but you get the drift. And it's hard to limit these things. In case in point, Sean T. Keene, a New Jersey assemblyman, has proposed a bill that would prohibit the release of body cam recordings without approval from the video's subject. Which, well, you know, if is kind of iffy, because what if it's a politician that is the subject of said video and an arrest? Nancy Pelosi's husband getting hit over the hammer by that guy he's totally not sleeping with? What about that one Karen that was part of like the New Jersey, New York Port Authority that just pulled up on a traffic stop and motherfucked the cop and said, "Do you know who I am? You can't give my daughter a ticket."
I am the commissioner of the Port Authority, and I'm heading up over 4,000 police officers. Okay? So, if there's a problem, I think I have...
There's no problem.
Why were they pulled over, first of all?
Miss.
Now, don't call me miss. I'm commissioner. Why
The
did
driver
they...
will tell you.
No. I need
Yes,
to know.
ma'am. The car's getting towed now.
Why is the car getting towed?
Go ask him. Are you finished, ma'am?
I'm shocked.
Are you
I'm
finished?
shocked and very disappointed. Thank you for
may
your
take
help.
You may take them now.
You may not tell me when to take my child. You may shut the up and not tell me when I may take my kid.
She's the target of that. She's the point of the video. She gets arrested for obstruction. Do you think it's not important that we look at political figures, people in the public eye that are supposed to represent us and say, hey, we shouldn't have access to that? I think we should. I think we absolutely should. So how many laws are you gonna enact? How many different statutes are you gonna have to make sure that the right people don't get their video uploaded or downloaded or posted, whatever, shared? And this is one of those things where the author of this article loses his mind for a second and thinks that he's better than everybody else because he can write on paper. Are journalists, I ask Keene, lumped in with that general public? What a elitist thing to say. Because what in the world makes you think that you are better than the general public just because you're a journalist? Therefore, you should be allowed certain things that the general public shouldn't. Asinine. But he does bring up the point that I made before. What happens when a local politician gets special treatment from police? Holding politicians accountable. Holding police accountable. Isn't that the point of body cams anyway? Ohio lawmakers are hoping to discourage bulk requests with new footage fees up to $75 an hour. But that measure risks excluding inquiries from low-income people. Precisely those people likely to be victims of police violence. Yeah, because we just beat up poor people all the time. That's exactly it, right? It's only the poor. Now I said before, hey, I'm going to tell you how I feel about the body cams when they first came out. Because it seems to be, well, an underlying issue here in this article that I don't think the author really hit on as much as I wished. Now, when body cams first came out and when my department started to get theirs, I was hesitant to buy in. Now, I like them now. At first, I was like, great, you can't tell somebody to f*** off, otherwise now you're gonna get brought up on charges. When a f*** off is certainly absolutely called for.
A fight breaks out and the crowd starts interfering with the arrest. That's when the commander in pig shows up.
But here's something that people don't think of when you get body cams. Let's say that you and your wife are arguing. It's loud. You're passionate about something. You're butting heads about some sort of direction that the family should go into, or how stressed you are about work, and a neighbor calls 911, says, hey, they're having a loud argument over there, could be a fight, I want to make sure that the police go there and check up on the wife and husband and make sure everything's okay. And the police show up. Well, guess what? If we enter your house with our body cameras on, now everybody gets to see the inside of your house. There is no privacy allowed. Now, if there's no crime, you might be able to contact the local PD and have them delete that video. And I would suggest that you do, but I don't know if that's something the department that you live with is capable of doing. Now, I primarily deal with Axon, and I do know that there is a time limit that everything's deleted if it's not specifically saved or attached to a call number. But let's say that it's a year. For 1 year, anybody that knows that you've had police contact can call up the police station and get a video of that entire interaction. Your entire home. What's in it? What looks good to steal? The doors, the layout. You will have zero privacy the moment an officer steps in your house with the body camera on. And sometimes, depending on the call and circumstance, you can't refuse the officer from coming into the house. A warrant. Domestics where the officer feels like there's somebody that's injured behind you. Hey, I heard a bunch of screaming, and when I pulled up, I heard more screaming and then a thud, and now you're not letting me in? I need to make sure that the person that's inside is okay. No. All right. Exigent circumstances. Somebody could absolutely be hurt, and now you're covering up a crime scene. You need to move, or I'm going to detain you for obstruction. That's just one thing off the top of my head. And that's something that your department and the people that pay their taxes for that department need to think of. The moment that your department gets body cams, you're gonna lose some of your privacy. And you might say, well, I've never needed to call the cops at my house. Well, until the day that you do. Another unfortunate thing, downside of body cams, is it makes lazy district attorneys, lazy lawyers. I mean, back in my day, if a police officer went on scene, saw some things, arrested you for it, and wrote it down, he would go on the stand and testify. That's what happened. And if there was proof that he was lying, well, he was screwed after that. False testimony is a huge deal. I know that there's some left-wing crazies and anti-cop people that are like, they lie all the time. No, we don't. No. No, it is a big deal. The second that you lose credibility on the stand, your job is basically over. But gone are the days where you could just do that and sit on the stand and be cross-examined. Now, if you don't have video footage of the incident, it's like it never possibly could have even existed. Oh, his body cam was malfunctioning, says the defense. We should throw it out, he's hiding something. Well, there's no video of it, so even though you've got 15 years on the job and have never lied and done an exemplary job, we're gonna throw out this entire case because well, we need video now, says the lazy prosecutor. Now, before we end it, I will say this. Personal view on body cams. I like them. I used to wear mine and I would talk to it like it was a person. I'd go boop, boop. And if I felt freaked out about stuff, I would say it. Oftentimes pulling somebody over, boop, boop. Hey, this guy's driving kind of funny and he's freaking me out. I hope he doesn't run, but I feel like he might run. He's not pulling over right away. This is weird. This is very strange. Why is he doing that? Now when I get out of the car, I'm like, hey, bud, you know, why are you driving so weird? Or if I saw evidence, I would be like, I see evidence right there. Just point it at the thing. I find it right there. I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to have so-and-so pick it up and put it in the evidence bag, and then you can submit it as evidence. How does that sound, body cam? How does that sound, Mr. Body Cam? Or after my interaction with somebody on a traffic stop, I would sit down in my car, write out his tickets, and go, I'm going to be removing him from the vehicle and towing that car. He does not seem happy. I really hope he does not fight with me. You know why? Because I don't want the defense to go, well, this guy's just trying to pick a fight with my guy who's just sitting there in his car with his, you know, as a felon with a firearm and a whole bunch of dope. He had no reason to do anything mean to the police officer. He's just a normal citizen when he's not committing the crimes that he often commits all the time with Jess and now. No, I didn't want to fight him from the get-go. Use your body cams like you're talking to a friend. Are you ready to go?
Yes.
All right. I'm talking to the camera. Go away. It's weird when you watch me. It's like having your parents watch you fornicate. You're doing a good job, Richard. Put it in there. No, shut up, Dad. Don't, ew. I love you. You make my life weird in a good way. Well, that's all I've got for you this time, weirdos. Best way to support the channel is buy yourself a shirt. Kermitting war crimes. Kermitting war crimes. Cheapest way to support the channel is leave a comment. Tell me what you think about body cams. Did you hate them and then you got them and now you love them? Did you love them and then you got them and now you hate them? Do you think that these poor 18-year-old girls getting DWIs is the reason why we should back off on cameras? Are you surprised that he didn't bring up the amount of times that, you know, political activists have been lying through their teeth when it comes to police brutality? See you next time, weirdos. The magazine, The New York... Did I squeak on that?